provided by Jamie Tate claims the defendant is a homewrecker who broke up her marriage when she started dating her husband. Ms. Tate is suing Tracy Sims in the amount of $10,000.
All right, Ms. Tate, you're suing Ms. Sims for $10,000, and your position is she stole your husband, she should pay you $10,000.
That's right, Your Honor.
Talk to me, what's going on?
So I've been with my husband for 13 years. We've been high school sweethearts. We have 2 beautiful boys. We've planned out our whole life together. We have a house together.
And you're saying Ms. Sims has put a little chink in those plans?
Yeah, and emotionally it's really took a toll on me to know that my husband's cheating with somebody else, and she's...
How did you find out?
Well, I found out actually from a picture on Instagram. I got a text message from a friend who said, hey, you know, there's this picture floating around of your husband with another woman.
And Ms. Sims, are you familiar with the picture that we're talking about?
Yes, I posted it believing he was single. I had nothing to hide.
How did you meet Mr. Tate?
I met him through a mutual friend that we both had, James. He introduced us. Well, originally James, I actually have some evidence here of him texting me saying, hey, I have a friend, he's a contractor, I'm an interior designer, so he knew we'd network, but he also made a point to tell me he's single twice in our conversation.
This is James telling you that this person's single?
Correct. I'm quite protective of myself, so.
And he was like, hey, I know you're a good person, I like this guy, I know you're single right now, sort of thing?
Exactly.
Coming up on America's Court.
Why is it $10,000?
Well, emotional distress.
So we're just picking numbers, ma'am?
Because of this.
I got this.
Closed captioning provided by America's Court is back with the case of Jamie Tate, who is suing Tracy Sims for alienation of affection.
How did it come about that the 2 of you met?
So James actually ended up inviting him to a New York party because I've just recently moved here. I'm actually from New York and I travel back and forth a lot.
James invites Mr. Tate to a party in New York?
Yes, and that's how it begins. We meet, we start flirting, they're both telling me he's single.
Do you know who James is?
No, and I don't know if why he's saying that my husband's single.
Your Honor, I do have this text message.
I don't think the issue is what James is saying. I think the issue is what your husband is saying in response to him saying he's single. James didn't get on the plane and go from North Carolina to New York to meet this potentially single person. You bear the burden of, one, establishing if there was a marriage. Well, you did that. You said you guys were together for 13 years, you were high school sweethearts, but then we also have this issue of this is the person that caused alienation, that destroyed the bond between the 2 of you, that she's the reason why there was no affection, that there was no love. Can you prove that?
I don't know if I can today, Judge.
Okay. And why is it $10,000?
Well, emotional distress.
So
well,
we're just picking numbers, ma'am?
Because of this.
I got this.
I have evidence of me seeing a psychologist.
Okay, did it cost $10,000? Was it $10,000 worth?
No. What about punitive damages of something so grotesque as to steal another's husband?
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. Promotional consideration provided by.
This is the picture with you and that you posted.
Honor. That was on my birthday, I believe. And like I said, I had nothing to hide.
And he's not wearing a ring. I mean, you can't see his hand on that picture, but on the picture here, I can see it. So you've seen this picture. You understand what your burden is in terms of proving to the court why alienation of affection is warranted here. You are entitled to medical expenses, you're entitled to therapy, you're entitled to any sort of financial harm that you suffered from the loss of his income. You're entitled to mental anguish and emotional anxiety and feeling humiliated. You're entitled to all of that. You have to establish the elements to get it. And you don't have it. So based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel must come down in favor of the defendant, Ms. Sims. Your matter is dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
You don't need to even come near my life or stay away from my husband.
I didn't want to be involved.
And
I don't want him anymore.
you should just feel awful about
cut
yourself.
my ties.
You are a succubus.
Okay,
Wow.
we're done. I think the real culprit is your husband.